Hey everyone, I'm Jen. I'm a licensed athletic trainer and registered yoga teacher. And today's short practice is geared towards goalies. We'll be focusing on a variety of different poses and shapes that are meant to build mobility, particularly in the hips. Let's get started. We'll get started in a seated position, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And once we find that shape, we're going to sit up nice and tall, reaching out through the crown of the head and begin to engage the core abdominal muscles. As we sit here, we're going to ground down through our feet and take 3 deep breaths. And as we breathe in and out, really working to gear our breath here to the lower part of the ribs. One final breath here. Exhale out. Take the hands behind. And we'll set the feet a bit wider than the hips, allowing our knees to drop to the right and to the left. Just taking a few windshield wipers to create that first bit of movement in the lower half of the body. Allowing the knees to drop off to one side, we'll lift the chest really tall through our spine and then begin to work this front shin bone parallel to whatever our working surface is. That trail leg, same setup. We've got 90-degree angles at the hip, knee, and ankle, so make those adjustments. And then we'll take both hands to the outside of our leading leg. Deep breath in here and breathe out. Good. Begin to walk hand over hand towards the trail leg. Things will get a little bit sticky back here, okay? So stick with me. We'll walk our hands back through the start position. And then again, hand over hand, working our way towards the back knee. Repeating that maybe 3 or 4 times. And then we'll come right back through the center. Take a breath. Reach the crown of your head really long, almost like it's on a diagonal, and begin to press the back knee downwards into your surface wherever you're practicing. So I'm on my yoga mat. If you're just on the ground, carpeting, towel, that's perfectly fine. So we're pressing our back knee downwards into the ground, just about 30% of your overall strength. So we're not going to overdo it, just a little bit of engagement of our inner leg muscles, so our groin muscles. We'll hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. Begin to pick the back knee up, holding here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the knee back down. Gently begin to root that knee downwards into the ground, pressing down. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the knee back up. We're gonna hover, external rotation at the hip joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the knee back down. Maybe we come in a little bit deeper. Let's ramp up the strength of our back leg by pressing the knee downwards, maybe about 40-45%. Creating that engagement of the adductor muscles. We're here just for another 3, 2, and 1. Last time, hover the back knee, really working to that end range, of motion. And we'll hold here, last 3, 2, and 1. Release the back leg. We'll begin to come up and out of whatever degree of folding that we got ourselves into in that shape. And we're gonna move to the other side. So I'll show you how to get there, but I'm gonna have to adjust in a different way just so you can see me. So taking your hands out in front, we're gonna interlace our palms together and give the hands a big squeeze. As we sit up really, really tall, take a deep breath and begin to pick the back trail leg up, just as we did in the prior drill. And as the knee lifts, the body is gonna need to rotate, okay? Eventually, the front leg is going to pick up along the way. We'll find our way midway, it's called bear sit. And then we're gonna rotate towards the opposite side. So if we continue, I'm going to be facing away from you, but eventually, as you transition through, we'll have the opposite leg in front, 90-degree angle setup. So this is called a shin box or a 90-90 setup. Wonderful way to get into the hips. So let's get to the other side. Hands coming to the outside of that leading leg. Pause here for a moment, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. hand over hand towards the trail leg, and then we'll work our way back. Moving through. We'll take 3 or 4 repetitions. And then eventually, after our last repetition, let's return back through the center, and then maybe we come in a bit deeper into that fold. Let's start our isometrics. So taking our back knee, we'll begin to drive the back knee downwards into the floor, about 30% of your strength. We'll feel the strength of the glutes. We'll feel the adductors begin to engage and turn on. We'll hold that for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the press downwards. Now go ahead and lift that back trail leg. Okay, we're gonna hold here for 5 seconds. You got it, 3, 2, and 1. Set the knee back down. Driving the knee back down, 30% of your strength. Holding for 5 seconds. 3, 1, relax. Lift and hover the back knee. Holding here. We'll hold for the last 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Last one, drive it down about 40, 45%, a little bit more pressure downwards through that trail leg. Good, last 3 seconds, 2 and 1. Release the press, pick the back knee up one last time, working all the way to that end range. Okay. Last 3, 2, and 1. Set the knee down. We're gonna work our way up and out of our shin box, swinging the legs around, taking some hip circles. So we're gonna set up in a tabletop quadruped shape here. So elbows, shoulders, wrists, we've got nice alignment here. And picking up one of the legs, sole of the foot is gonna place it or make its way towards the top, facing the ceiling, taking circles in one direction, and then circles in the other direction. Taking that same leg, let's extend the leg all the way out, point the toes facing downwards. So strong through the core here, pulling the front half of the body up towards the back half of the body. No arching in the low back, please. As the heel reaches back, we'll take one more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we'll take that leg that's extended, draw the knee in towards the elbow, and place the foot to the outside of your hand. So we're coming into the shape. We might need to use a yoga block, or maybe we have some books nearby that we can bring the floor up to our body. So it would look something like this. In this shape, we're gonna reach, same arm as the leading leg, reach it forward and sweep back. Reach forward and sweep back. Repeating 5 times. And we're just looking to create movement in that leading leg. Return back to the center. Both hands are going to connect here, okay? Back leg, press the top of your foot where your laces would be. Press your laces down into the ground. We're gonna work our way all the way up. Take the hands to the front knee. So we've got a kneeling lunge. I'll be a little bit wide. And we're gonna lean into that front knee. Really key here to keep the pelvis neutral, not allowing your butt, your sitting bones to stick back. We want to keep them pressing downwards towards the floor. All right, we'll take a deep breath here. As you breathe out, right hand is going to come to the inside of that front foot. Reach the opposite arm up, taking some big circles here. And this is going to be where we get a little bit tricky here. So taking the hands forward, we're gonna work that leading leg towards the center of our mat, and then kind of scrunch the toes forward, tucking the back toes, sit the hips back towards the heels. Okay, fingertips are gonna support the body. We do not need to lock this front knee. Okay. Again, blocks, books, something to bring the floor up to us will create a little more space, particularly if the hamstrings are feeling a bit tight. All right. So I'm going to drive my leading heel down into the ground. Again, 30% of my strength. And the front hip crease, I want to be mindful that I'm pulling that hip crease back. Good. All right. So we're getting into the hamstrings. And then we'll go ahead and bring the heel back in. Step your leading leg straight back into a push-up plank. We're in our push-up plank. We'll take a deep breath and breathe out. Tap the knees down, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then as you breathe in, we'll roll forward to our push-up plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome job. Set the knees down. We're going to take the opposite side. So I'm just going to turn so you can see. Bending through the knee, we're going to reach all the way back. Toes will spin downwards towards the ground. Really energetic through that heel bone as you reach backward. Crown of the head is forward. Core is strong, no arching in the low back. Give the leg a little bit of a lift. Deep breath. And breathe out. Bend the knee. Sole of the foot is going to face the ceiling as we take hip circles in one direction. And then hip circles in the opposite direction. So we're not changing the position of the back, so we shouldn't be getting a lot of movement here. And then eventually we'll take that foot to the outside of the leading leg. Pausing here for a moment, finding this shape called lizard pose. Staying high up on the fingertips, utilizing our blocks. I have some nearby, so I'll show you what that happens to look like. So if we're using our blocks, we can bring the ground up closer, which means we're not as deep into this particular stretch. All right, so here we are. We'll take a deep breath here. Take the front right hand, same side as this front knee. We're going to sweep it back. Reach it forward. Sweep it back. Reach it forward. So I even have a little bit of movement in the hips. That is okay. Allowing hip flexion, hip extension. And then eventually, we'll pause here for a moment and then walk the hands up onto the front leading leg. Pelvis is tucking under, lifting up tall. We'll take a deep breath in and breathe out. Pressing the top of the back foot where our laces would be, pressing them down into the mat or the floor. Breathing in here one last time. I'll use my block, place the hand down, reach the hand up and take some big circles. We'll go twisting lunge. Moving towards our hamstrings, we'll use the block since they're already here, and I'm going to tuck my back toes, reach the front heel up, and begin to lengthen the front leg. But again, we do not need to straighten it all the way. Blocks are great here. We can come up really high if we need space, or we can ditch them all together. So I'll show you what it looks like using the block on the highest setting. I'm pressing the front heel down into the mat. And just be mindful of the hip position. Sometimes this hip wants to move forward. I encourage you to check in and make sure that the hip is pulling back. All right, we're pressing the heel down into the mat. We're breathing. All right, go ahead and bend through the front knee. We'll untuck the back toes. I'm gonna move my blocks out of the way. Picking up the back knee, we're gonna step back into that push-up plank. Take a deep breath. We'll take our toes, untuck, drop the hips, begin to lift the chest into upward facing dog. Deep breath, tuck toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Good work. Breathing in here, downward facing dog, bend the right knee, bend the left knee. And then we'll set both knees down. We'll come into a comfortable seat. And we'll just pause for a moment, catch our breath, refine our focus if it's drifted off. And then we'll take another deep breath in. Exhale, drop your chin down towards your chest. Awesome work. Lift the head, lift the neck. And come back through the center. Rotate towards the right. And rotate towards the left. Good, nice job. Bring the head to the center, interlace your hands. We're gonna press the palms away, stretching through the upper back. Take a big breath. Exhale it out. Good, reach the hands all the way up. You made it. Release the fingertips down to the ground. If you'd like to take a twist, this is a great opportunity to sprinkle a twist in. Sometimes they just feel really nice after moving through some twisting shapes. All right, guys, you did a really good job. I appreciate you giving this a try. Come back to it at any time. Again, my name is Jen. Thank you for being here.